Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in any part of the world. This is Every Woman Dream Show. We are live again, and thank you for joining us for this week. Now, today we are talking about a very interesting subject area: women's participation in politics. We have a young political activist and a researcher in politics and electoral activities. She is also the recipient of an honorary doctorate in sociology and social work from the Day Spring Christian University in Florida. She's also the current Deputy Executive Director for the Ghana National Service Team. Today I have Dr. Gifty Oware-Aboagye. Hello and welcome, Dr. Gifty.
Thank you, Asmaa.
All right. So, as a researcher in politics and electoral activities, what could you say about politics in Africa?
Let me say a good morning, afternoon, evening to our cherished listeners. And it's an interesting topic because, for us in Africa, we used to have a system that we believed in, which was the chieftaincy system, which was monarchical.
Right.
So our system was such that there must be a leader who may be a king or a queen. And when the person dies, someone else from the same royal family come to inherit.
That's true.
So swapping from that point to the democratic election has not been easy for us in Africa. So you realize all of us have had dispensation of coup d'etats, we've had civil wars because of some of those movements. So it's been an interesting point understanding the electoral systems and making us understand the values in elections and in politics. So Africa is just been in the middle of whether or not that is really what is good for us or not.
Interesting. Now, as a young woman, what has been your defining moment for the interest in politics?
Mine it's been a point where you realize that you want to cause a change or cause an impact. Then you cannot always bring the policy paper out and not be part of the people going to cause the impact. Because then maybe in defining what your impact means may be different from the other person. So it was a point of understanding right from the senior high school that as a young lady, I would want to cause an impact and make a change. So how do I make this change? I must understand my environment. So I started from appreciating, bringing people together, making them happy, and what it gives me. Then we went into getting the people back into the politics. So did student politics, rose from that point to other things and kept going to do masters in the elections. Then I moved on and on and on and on. So mine was just a point of wanting to cause a change, but realizing that I must be part of the agents to cause a change, because if I can't sit away and give the document to someone to go cause a change.
That's true. That's true. And how has been that journey, considering the myth surrounding women participation in politics? How has been the journey for you so far?
All right, it's not been easy. I tell people that, see, I belong to a conservative party. So it's not been easy. Just a conservative party even believe that the adults should be given the space. So for you as a woman, your fight doesn't just become one, but then the challenge of being a woman and also being a youth is not been very, very exciting. But it's been worth taking, because at one point, yes, they would want to assume that you're a young person. But when the decisions are made and they realize that on the decision table, you acted matured, you acted correctly towards the norms and values of the system, then they get on along with you. But it's not easy for people to embrace you and accept it as they think you should and all that. It takes time. Because it's mainly male domineering. So you live in a society where it's a man that is doing politics. So when you are a woman and you want to get into it, you're giving all the tax, all the bad names.
Right.
You just have to stay fast. So.
Okay. Now, how did you and how would you speak to other women listening to us today with regards to some of the very difficult challenges? Like you did mention just a few seconds ago, that women are being given tags and being called names, name calling and shaming. And so that tends to withdraw lots of women from active politics. What are the ways you have dealt with some of these challenges, and what would you say to other women?
You see, I tell people the day we decide what we want to do as people, whether it's politics or it's any career choice you do. From that moment, you know that nobody promises you that it's going to be easy.
All right.
So you get into it knowing that it's a task ahead of you and you must jump. And it's a step at a time.
Right.
I've never taken 2 steps at one point. I've always tried to take the step at a time. Understanding my environment is key for every woman. If really you want to be a successful woman, you need to understand your environment and where you belong. If you don't understand,
let me hold you on that. When you say environment, what specifically do you mean? The political environment? Are you talking about your own personal growth? What exactly do you mean by that?
You see, your environment generally on the career path you're picking, because you see, at every point in time, there are people who have done whatever you want to do before. Even when there's a novelty, there is someone who might have tried but might have not succeeded. So it's about understanding all these nitty-gritties and what might have prevented or what might have pushed the person to making those decisions. If you get to master, believe it's on experience and it's so much, then before you know, you get it. And it doesn't take a day. When I want politics, is not for people. It's not for people like we say in boats. The sprinter, you cannot do politics. It takes time, and building a career in politics is like doing the relay. So every time it's a baton relay, and you keep going and going. People never even get to the top. Some does, but then you should only hope to make sure that whether you get to the topmost or not, you have made an impact. But the impact is key.
Okay. So how are you sustaining your interest in politics amidst all the hurdles that you have to go through as a woman? How do you sustain that interest in politics? Was there any time you just thought, this may just not be a space for me as a woman, so let me step back? Was there any point in time like that for you?
No, I've not yet gotten to that point. But
all right.
Naturally, in every career, there are the ups and downs, there are the lows and the high moments where you feel like this should not really happen to me. I should just get off this space and go find myself something better to do. And yes, it comes to everybody. But so why every person, whether young or old, need a confidant? You need a mentor, someone that you can easily speak to, someone who would share in your values and in your opinion. I picked that for my family, and then so I rely more on them. I try to speak to them, get ideas from them. A few other senior politicians I speak to understand the game I'm in and what exactly it takes me to do it. So yes, those more for those. And when you speak to them, they'll make you understand that they also go through those ones. So it's just a step at a time. It's always a work in progress. It's never work done.
Right. Okay. So talking about having a mentor and having someone to guide you, who's been that push for you to find interest in politics? Is there a family? Is there someone who has been your mentor when it comes to this path that you have chosen?
Mine, like I said, was about a personal conviction of wanting to cause an impact and realizing that people in the political space has a power to cause that change if only they want to do it. So, and in growth, as a young lady, I met the former first lady, the former first lady of Excellency Nana Oware-Aboagye. Growing up, I realized I have different political values when it comes to her. But then I saw her as someone I would want to look up to, someone I would want to, when I speak of my social life, I wanted to be seen as this person. Like, okay, this is the impact I've been able to cause. And this is where I come from and I stand. And at the end of the day, I think, for physically, in terms of the people I've met, she is. Then I think in 2010, I met someone I was looking up to too. So I had to be in the Young Pan-African Parliament. And I met then Gertrude Mongela,
Okay.
Who was then the parliament president. And since then, I've had a few other people I've spoken to one way or the other.
Okay.
Everybody keeps being a mentor. And as far as you see someone, whether younger than you or older,
You try to
you
find
have to
inspiration.
understand what
Mm.
politics means to you. Sure, and I find it.
Okay. So would you say that politics, especially politics in Ghana, is a space that a lot of women should aspire to be in?
Yeah, I strongly feel unless we get there, our issues will not be heard. You see,
Okay.
this whole policy on for us to pass a bill on marital rape, because there are
Mm-hmm.
few women in parliament, it's still not been passed.
It's difficult.
There are a lot more things that are challenges for us women, but because
Okay.
we are not in the space, we are not able to speak about it. So it will take us to be able to understand our own issues and to be able to fight our own problems.
Right.
So we got to be part of it. We got to represent ourselves there.
Mm.
We cannot leave it for the men to do it. It has to be done by us and for us
Right.
because it's ours.
Right. That's true. I mean, that's true. I perfectly agree with you. There are issues that concern women, and women need to be at the forefront of them. And right, we need to stop shying away from politics as well, and we need to find our space in there, just as we find our space elsewhere in other spheres of life. Now, let's look at your role in supporting and empowering other young women and giving them that push to want to admire politics and find their space in there. What are you doing with other young women? I know you do a lot of projects with regards to supporting community and doing advocacy work, but I want to understand what are the ones that are directly related to finding interest in supporting young women in politics.
All right. So, they say charity should begin at home. And if you want to
Right.
cause a change, you must do it around where you are. So, being
Mm-hmm.
deputy boss of the National Service Scheme and being the only woman, we used to have a place called the Women's Desk, which
Okay.
virtually was dormant ever since we came. So,
Okay.
wanting it to be more embroadened, we had to
Mm.
rename it on inclusion, which would include a woman in terms of the nursing mother, pregnant
Okay.
woman. Everybody is now in that scope. Because we used not
Wow.
to have all those
Interesting.
people in the scope, and we realized that it's not just the suppose how do you call it HIV that was only killing us the women, but then
Okay.
there are fistula and other diseases that women serving nationally for her nation. That a few young
Mm.
ladies are mentoring to become whoever they want to be. Fortunate for me, this year we won some various SRC presidency, Wisconsin, UPSC, and
Oh,
some other
great.
places that the young women are mentoring have been able to rise to, not now fighting only for the secretaryship, but wanting to be the
Yeah. Go all the way
presidents of
for the
the
presidency.
students. Yeah, and then it's exciting when you see young people that are under you trying to do something for themselves and seeing the other picture that nobody else is seeing and appreciating
Okay.
what they can do for their lives. Yeah.
Mm, great. So politics is not a scary space at all for women, and women
No,
can push
politics
through
is
to find their space
never. It's
in
rather
there.
exciting for
Yes.
women.
It's exciting. Wow, this is a different view, and that it's refreshing to hear this view from you, because it would certainly go a long way to inspire a lot of other women who
Yeah,
are.
because I've done it. If I have been able
Mhm.
to do it, it means that any other woman can do it.
Right,
I don't have
right.
any super magic. I'm just a woman like any of them, and some may have
Mm,
even more traits and better ethics to appreciation of whatever is around them than us. So
okay.
as far as we've been able to do it, other people can also do it.
Okay, okay. So let's talk a little bit about value systems. What are the values that generally we are discussing women's participation in politics? What are the values and the ethics that you hold on while you fight your way through to the biggest platform you can think about in the political world?
Mm. My first conviction is about whatever I do, does it affects what I believe in.
Okay.
So my personal values, and you see, this personal values and conviction goes just beyond whatever space you belong. But then I have some principles I don't go against.
Okay.
So I always tell people that there is no way you cannot detach career and sex, but then you can decide not to let the sex that comes in your way affect your career. So
Okay.
at the end of the day, my determination to wherever I want to achieve is not about who I should be with or who I shouldn't be with. I
Okay.
have tried to separate that part, and that's one of the mistakes a lot of people do. That they
Two.
do not separate their point of their career from their sexual life.
So
But if you don't
more
separate
like
those two,
mixing pleasure with work.
yes, if you
Okay.
ever try to do that, because I tell you, life itself is difficult. The political space is stressful. So to add personal to this one
Yeah,
is
you're not
like
going to
going
find
to
your
join
space
yourself.
easily.
Yeah, that's the point. So I have lived a life where I've separated all these things. Like I said, I'm not
Okay.
putting any of them together at
All
any
right.
particular point. And that should be the first point of call. The second is that
Okay.
as we're growing, there are some errors people make. So
Okay.
once you're growing, you should know that your future is not residing in the past. And the ones you can prevent, you should gladly prevent. There are some
Okay.
vices as young people we can prevent, because you see, the moment you show yourself up on the political stance, you give yourself to the ridicule of every bad or good thing you
That's
have
true.
done.
That is very true. And we've
And
experienced
people
a few of this. Yeah.
people appreciate the wrongs we did than the right we did,
Mm-hmm.
and they never speak
Mm-hmm.
of the rights. So
Mm-hmm.
all the things that are inside your closet will be dug out. So if you think that is something that you would not want to, you minimize all those risks. So I mitigate it. You try as much as you can not to do unnecessary stuff that puts you on that bad light, no matter
Okay.
how funky or how exciting you think. You should just understand that there is a tomorrow, and that tomorrow connects with you and your future. And the future of other
Okay.
people is in your hands. Because the moment you want to be a leader and come out there as a strong person, then you put other people's future in your own hands.
That's true.
Whatever you do, you affect them too.
That is very true. We are still live on Every Woman Dream Show, and today we are discussing with Dr. Gifty Oware-Aboagye, who is a researcher in politics and electoral activities, and also the Deputy Executive Director of the Ghana National Service Scheme. That's a big space there. And she's also a political activist, so we're discussing women's participation in politics, looking at Africa and perhaps Ghana to be specific. Now, growing up, this is every woman's dream show. Growing up, did you ever dream of finding your way into politics? Was there something you dreamt of as a child?
No, I never thought I was going to do politics growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something I thought of. That no one day no, I never thought of it.
Okay. So at what point, you have mentioned that it was a personal thing to want to make an
Yeah,
impact.
right from the senior high school, like I said,
Okay.
wanting to cause a change, and you realize that, hey, the change is in my hands. I can decide to be part of the change or sit somewhere
Okay.
and say someone else should do the change. Then
All
I
right.
decided to just do politics. So why was
Okay,
the point
because
of
you could
doing
have,
that?
yeah, you could have chosen any other thing. You could have chosen to just be a community activist. You could have chosen to be,
Yeah.
but there was that push internally for you to want to say, "Hey, no, not any other thing, but politics is where I want to show my face." So
Sure.
that push is what we want to know. How did that
So,
push came about? Was there
so that,
anybody
like I
who
said,
said,
I had, for instance, let me share it. So there was this day, like on campus, really, when I had a point of, I wanted to do this program for women.
okay,
Then we kept going to the then minister, who was a man, gave us stories. We went to my MP in the constituency my school resided in.
that,
It was also a woman. I went to her. She
okay,
gave us stories, and I feel like all these guys do not even understand the issues that bother us, but they have to be
mm,
the ones determining what I do.
okay,
So why don't I be part of the system that determines
exactly,
it, so I cause the change myself? So right from
exactly,
there, I said, see, I'm going to get serious with my TESCON, which is the NPP side of
yes.
student politics. And I decided to just get there. I worked on it. That's all I did.
Oh, okay. That's really great to know. I mean, that push was there because you did try to reach out, and if people were not ready for
Yeah.
to get to get on board, then why not me find my way in that system so I can cause the change that you so desired. And that was a really excellent and a smart move. Now, still on dreams, what is your greatest dream in the political field? As a politician, let me put it, or a political activist, what is
It
your
looks like,
greatest dream?
okay, so what I do is that I build a dream of the short and the long. But
Okay.
politically, I've always built the shorter than the longer. Because,
All
they
right.
always say that because you don't know the next suicide you commit politically, you don't really think of what next you would get. So one
All
of the things
right.
I have done is, I think I've achieved to the point of wanting, yes, to serve as a government official at the highest level, which
Okay.
has happened now. Any
Mm.
other thing, I think I have to like really work on it, because at this point I have really achieved the point I felt I wanted to get to. Yeah.
Okay. So you're not looking out for any other higher space? You think?
Mine becomes a presidential hire and fire. So the day the president says, now I want
Okay.
to hire you to another point, I'll gladly say thank you, Mr.
Sure,
President.
of course.
The day he says I want to degrade you, I'll say thank you, Mr.
All
President.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we look forward to seeing Dr. Gifty Oware-Aboagye someday at the presidential.
That would be nice.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Gifty. I know you had a tough day today, but you still made time to join us on Every Woman's Dream Show. It's been an exciting discussion with you. Your final words to any woman who's interested in wanting to dare to find her space in the political field. What are your final
I
words?
I believe anybody can achieve it, but I think that whether or not you make utilize of the day, the
Mm,
24 hours will end. So it's better you make hay while the sun shine. Because when you
okay.
sit, it would end. When you work, it would end. When you sleep, the
Okay.
day would end. So your 24 hours should always be utilized.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for joining me today on Every Woman's Dream Show. It's been an exciting discussion with Dr. Gifty Oware-Aboagye, who is a political activist, as well as the current Deputy Executive Director of the National Service Scheme of Ghana. Thank you for joining us. It's been Every Woman's Dream Show. And like always, I bring you inspiring stories from women across the globe. And today it's been discussing women's space in politics. And if you want to be featured on this show, please send an email to info@radioworks.world, info@radioworks.world. See you again next week, same time. Bye-bye for now.